holding my breath and I'm ready to go. I'm falling right in and I'm ready to go. I found what I want and I know that we're on top, so I'll tap in and I'm ready to work.
Broadcasting from Central Kentucky, the headquarters of the Dr. My Budget podcast, where we discuss how to grow your personal wealth without having a major impact on your current lifestyle. Here is your host, Dr. Dan, the Finance Man.
Welcome, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May the 30th. Hopefully you had a great Memorial Day weekend. I'm your host, Dr. Dan, the Finance Man. Can't believe we are already on week 7, almost 2 months into this thing. Today's episode is sponsored by Nexa Mortgage, NMLS ID 2296654. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, no matter where you're located at in the country, we have a team of professionals that are ready and willing to help you. As always, you can reach out to us to discuss your situation in private at drdan@drmybudget.com. You can also reach out to us by call or text on the Make Kentucky Home Group at eXp Realty phone line at 859-429-0552. And with that, let's dive in. My guest today has been in the real estate industry for over 25 years. His passion and purpose come from serving others, and that is what keeps pushing him every day. He has a very unique approach to real estate and helps real estate agents build powerful businesses. I am honored to have him on the show to share his wisdom and humbled that he took time out of his busy schedule to join the show. Please welcome my friend, Mr. Joseph Limo.
It's an honor to be here with you, Daniel. Thank you very much for the spotlight and the opportunity to jump on your podcast.
Hey, I appreciate it, sir, as always. So for those that may not know who you are, so who's Joseph?
Joseph is a family man, have my amazing wife, 3 children. I'm that kid that grew up as a super sensitive child, always wanting to please other people. Go figure, I get into sales, right? But I learned that if I triple down in who I really am, it's actually a really great leverage point for me. So I'm still that person, man. I'm never going to change who I am because it'd be a ridiculous thing to try and do anyway.
Okay. And I believe you service the Rancho Cucamonga area.
Yes, sir. I'm in the Inland Empire of Southern California. That's correct.
Okay. Very cool. So what would you say your specialty in real estate?
Yeah, so I'm definitely very, very focused on the residential side of real estate. I would say that my specialty is really in the nuanced listings where people are making a single move out of their current home, moving into their next, home that they're going to live in, and juggling all the balls that are associated with that single move. Sell their home, buy another home, one transition, so they don't have to go through all of the chaos. That really is my specialty.
That is so awesome because, there is a lot of stress in the whole moving process. So very excited to hear that you have your niche and you service that area. So you mentioned, or I guess you've been in the business for 25 years. So how has real estate changed since, or not really changed, but evolved? Evolved is
sure. Yeah, no, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah.
How has real estate evolved since you first got in the industry?
Yeah, so when I first joined the real estate business, there was definitely a lot more of like manual items out there. Paper contracts were literally on the wall inside of the office, where if you needed to write up an offer, you got to go grab one of the printed offers and start writing it up with pen. The evolution has really been on the tech side, as far and of course the speed of real estate. So back then, a lot of an agent's value came from having all the information really close to the vest. People needed us for information on properties. As technologies evolve, not only in making things paperless, information just in general is faster and far more abundant now. So the evolution as far as like the real estate side goes is clients can get information anywhere they need. What it's caused an agent to do in evolution is become way more of a factor in terms of having leadership. It wasn't just about you can't know about things unless you have me. Now our value proposition is so much more, my process, my approach, my clarity and ability to navigate all scenarios and situations. That's what someone hires us for now.
Very cool. Tell me
Yeah.
more. I'm
Yeah.
loving this, by the way. So
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem at all, man. So, it's interesting because a lot of people think things have evolved, happen in markets, but markets are very cyclical, and we're seeing that that's still the case. Things change, and real estate cycles are both over like a 7 to 10 year timeline as well as annual. These cyclical changes we see often, even in like the shorter durations of time. But I really feel like what we talked about in terms of like technology and the abundance of information, that's led to really an evolution for the client. And what I'm experiencing is, again, those cycles still remain, but they're happening more often and faster now because of the abundance of information out there. What I tell people all the time is like when we see some of these changes in a market, we tend to see an over exaggeration. When markets get good, they get a little too good right away and then they taper off. When they go bad, they tend to go really bad and then they come back to, a more of a normalcy. So I don't think that the cycles or real estate's change in that regard much. It's simply the information and how unfiltered it is. And there again, this is where agents needed their evolution so they can be more of a doctor, right?
yeah,
The finance doctor like you are, where, yeah, you have all the information now, but you still don't know what it means. You need a professional. You can see an x-ray, but you don't know what you're looking at. You need someone with that expertise, that guidance, and that communication style to help you interpret the data so that you, as the client, make the best decision for yourself.
I love that answer. I want to touch on something that you said. You mentioned, how markets are shifting and like ever changing. So, and it's more frequent now than it has been in the past. So I know here in Central Kentucky, like the market is just absolutely crazy. It's not getting any better. It's still a crazy seller's market with less than like a month and a half of inventory and then in some areas we have like less than just a couple of weeks of inventory.
Wow.
So, what's it like in your area? And then what should potential buyers and sellers know that are thinking about making the move out to that area?
Yeah, that's a great question, and thank you for asking that. So, number one, we're very similar in terms of inventory rates right now. We're looking at about 1.5 to maybe in some markets, some specific neighborhoods, 2 months of inventory, but that's on the extreme high at this point. There are some neighborhoods that are still under 1 month of inventory. So yes, we are still very much starved of inventory. What's interesting is that the concern of interest rates and how things are playing out. I mean, this weekend we got great information or news that, one more ancillary item we don't have to worry about anymore, and that's the debt ceiling for the United States, right? So that's really good news for consumers to just be at ease there. But it's a lot of these ancillary issues that are happening that are really causing buyers pause right now. So what I'm helping people understand is this. If you need to move, this is a great time to sell your home because there is not a lot of competition on the sales side of things, right? You put your home on the market, you're not going to have 5 or 6 other options that match your home. You're probably going to be fairly unique in your area with your floor plan, which is great news. The offside of that is for buyers, like I get it. A lot of buyers want to time their home purchase and time their interest rate. The challenge is I don't think a lot of buyers understand that that's a very difficult thing to do. What's really easy to do is to own the home, own the asset, and time interest rates then, because it's one phone call to Mr. Daniel David here, and he can have you refinanced and locked in literally within a day. So, that's where I think a lot of buyers are making mistakes right now by sitting on the sidelines in this confusion, in this chaos, in this cause of concern or pause for buyers. This is when really smart buyers are getting out there and pulling the trigger when everyone else isn't sure of what to do. Because if you're going to wait for rates to get better, you can do that. But if you guys recall, the last time rates were really good, which was what, a year and a half ago, what was happening on price? In our markets, it was people offering $50,000 and $100,000+ over asking price. There was no way to substantiate that value, but they had cash in hand and they were willing to throw it. So that's a far more expensive approach, in my opinion, than taking on a higher interest rate now, which, by the way, if you can afford the home now at a 7+% interest rate, and then when rates fall back down to the mid fives, low fives, you call Daniel David, get a refinance. Think about your position there as far as affordability goes. So I encourage buyers all the time. This is probably the best time to pull the trigger than we're going to see potentially in the next few years.
Very cool. Very insightful. And if you're enjoying this information, appreciate a like, a subscribe, a follow. Drop a comment below about, just what area you're thinking about and some of the issues that you're having. So I mentioned earlier that you're helping other real estate agents grow a massive business.
Sure.
So elaborate a little bit more on your coaching side of things.
Yeah, thank you for asking on that end. I went to school to be a teacher. That's what I planned on doing before getting into real estate. I started when I was in college, got my license, and very quickly realized that the teaching path just wasn't one that, as the career path goes, really resonated with me. However, things tend to come full circle. So just recently, I've been hired on as a professor of real estate at a local community college here, which that came to me. So I'm very honored, excited about it.
Well, congratulations, sir, on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And didn't want to pass that up because education and the ability to give back to others is just who I am, right? That's why I wanted to be a teacher to begin with. So although this is something I didn't anticipate in terms of the timeline, it's not something I'm going to pass up. When an opportunity like that comes your way, you grab the bull by the horns and you run with it. The best news is that it doesn't interfere with the rest of my business, just based on how, education has changed and distance learning, the whole 9 yards. However, what it's caused me to do, and this is the longest answer ever, but what it's caused me to do is lean into a side of the coaching aspect that I've been really resistant to approach for a long time. And that is really putting together programs for brand new real estate agents. A lot of my coaching has been focused on agents who have been in the business, looking to either scale their business, break past the glass ceiling, or even people who've struggled a little bit with very pointed, specific tools and strategies. What I'm doing now, though, is I've put together essentially my entire career into a program that will help an agent go through 20 weeks so that they can essentially truncate 5 years of experience. So that's the fun part that I'm focused on right now, is actually that brand new agent. Here's what I'll say, Daniel. I mean, we're talking about how this market has evolved and buyers and sellers need to kind of readjust, retool, and know how to be successful. This is the greatest market for a brand new agent to come into. It is going to be the hardest market for them to operate in and find success in. But if they can do that, they're going to have extremely fruitful careers. So if you're thinking about a career in real estate, do it now. Do it now when it's difficult. Do it now when you have to figure out the right habits, the right techniques, the right approaches and systems. And if you do it now, and then the market becomes way more volume friendly and a lot easier for agents to have transactions, you are going to thrive in a way that you would have never experienced otherwise.
Very cool, sir. It sounds like you have a lot of stuff going on. So you have this coaching program, and then you're the real estate professor at a local university. Do you have any other projects that you have going on?
Man, I guess my whole real estate business. There's that, right?
Yeah.
So no, I mean, professionally, those are my main focuses. And I do believe in having a focus. I don't want too many irons out there. Those are kind of the top three things for me, is obviously always my real estate production, coaching those agents in that very specific way. And then obviously integrating the ability for people to learn from me pre-license. So that's where the education piece comes in. Outside of that, man, I just need to focus on the things that matter most. And the reminder as to why I'm doing all this to begin with, which is my family. My little ones are about to wrap up first and second grade. So we have a great summer coming up ahead of us. And that's really the focus for us.
Very cool. So any like plans to travel or anything going on?
Yeah, so we're really close to home most summers. So we have a camping trip coming up literally this week. Then we're in South Lake Tahoe for a solid 10 days. So, we're going to have a lot of great time with a lot of great people, most of it local. So no, not a lot of huge travel out there, but I'll tell you what, that's the beauty about not only America, but some of the individual states that we're in. There's so much so close by. And I'm not opposed to flying across the world, right, and enjoying myself and seeing something new. But if you do that, just make sure that you don't forget all the wonderful things that are right around you at the same time.
Okay. So I asked this question to all my guests. And so what would you say is the one thing that sets Joseph Limo apart from all the other agents that are out there?
Yep. I think it's really easy. I'm a very unique combination of no one's going to care more than me and masterful in sales. I've learned that negotiation is not what most people think. If you watch The Wolf of Wall Street, all these other, movies where the negotiator is that person who comes in with, chest held high, ready to, have that growl on their face and close harder than anyone, that's really rudimentary. If you have a really high level of sales skill, your process emotionally feels like a flat line. So I have that unique ability to not only genuinely care about my clients, and one of the things that I do during my process, whether I'm helping someone buy or sell, and this is important to me, I get really crystal clear on their goal. And I dig really deep as to why they're doing whatever they're doing. Now, obviously, that's very helpful because it helps me to know what we're looking for. It'll help me when they're in an emotional position to come back to the foundation. But the truth is, part of the main reason why I do that is because those goals become mine. And there's one thing I've learned about me. Stay out of my way if I have a goal in mind, because I don't quit. And that doesn't mean I'm going to be a jerk or do anything crazy or weird to get there. I'm just not going to end until that goal is satisfied. So I've learned to take that on with my clients. I offer them that level of loyalty of me taking ownership of those goals like I do any other goal in my life. With that, coupled with my ability to get the job done in terms of the sales aspect of it, it's just created this really unique experience for my clients and for myself that they get to go through with a very high level salesperson who genuinely cares. And that's just a unique thing out there in the marketplace that we found.
Okay. I love the answer, love the passion. It is clear that you are very passionate, very motivated, and very driven. So can you give me like a couple of examples of like you said you do a deep dive to find out what that goal is.
Yes.
So let me throw a scenario out. Let's say I live in your area. And because on this show, we're all about doing the deep dive. So
I love it.
I live in your area and I'm having to relocate across the country because of jobs. And, kids have just finished up school. We got to be in a new area by the fall. And what does that look like?
So I'm assuming then in this scenario, I'd be listing your home.
Yes.
So this conversation would happen during my listing presentation. So what's interesting is when I pull up my listing presentation, the very first slide after the welcome slide is, tell me about your goal. And so this is where I would dive right in. And Daniel, so hey, listen, I appreciate you meeting with me. And thank you again for the opportunity for me to see your beautiful home. I really want to go back to the conversation we had over the phone. So you mentioned that you're going to be transferring to another state, and this is professionally related. And this is the right timing because your children are out of school. So as far as the transfer and the timing, tell me more about that.
Well, we just accepted a job with a new company, and
Congratulations.
so they are relocating me out, and so we've got to sell our home, and we've got to get it sold in like the next 90 days.
90 days. Awesome. Wow. So brand new company. That sounds like a massive transition. I want to hear a little bit more, like what was so important about this role to, kind of trigger what sounds like a pretty big move in your life. Have you guys like moved other locations based on your career in the past, or is this the first time?
This will be the first time.
Wow.
It's a promotion. It's a step up in my career. Of course, with that, more responsibility and an increased salary. So it just seemed like it was a good fit. The company values align a lot with what I'm looking for as I start to write the next chapter in my life for me and my family.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then it sounds like the timing for the kids' school kind of has some relationship there.
I just got really lucky on that. Everything lined up. So that was just luck of the draw.
So we get your home on the market. We're going to walk through my entire marketing platform, make sure that it's a collaborative approach that you feel really excited about. We get your home on the market. We get it under contract, say in the next 30 days, and you're closed in 70 days. What does that mean for you and your family, that you can be rest assured that this is completed and you're on to that next chapter? What would that mean for you?
It's peace of mind knowing that we don't have 2 mortgage payments going on out there, because I don't know how long we could survive with the 2 mortgage payments.
Gotcha. So you are going to go right over there and purchase.
Yeah. Well, we were able to talk to our lender. We got a bridge loan, which allows us to buy our next home with and use the equity that we have in our current home to help towards the down payment. And then it's also contingent on us selling that next home within the next 90 days, which is why we reached out to you.
Bingo. And so you already have a next home in mind?
Well, we're looking.
Okay.
We're not sure about the area.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm really curious to know. This is a big move for you guys, right? You're going to come into a new area, get familiar. Why purchase immediately? I mean, I'm not trying to change your perspective on that. I just want to better understand what's exciting for you guys to go right in there and have ownership right away.
Well, I mean, we could either pay a landlord if we rented and not get any tax benefit, or we could actually buy something and get the tax benefits. So, I mean, as you know, owning a home is like key.
That's what put you in your great position already, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Good. No, I think that is spot on. And I do see a lot of people go and make that transition, start renting, and sometimes that cycle can last way longer than they anticipated. So it sounds like if we get this home on the market, we have that right plan for you, there's a few layers of importance for you guys. Tell me a little bit more about, having this home sold within 90 days. Is there anything else that's really important for the family, for you guys, for your comfort level in this transition? What else is important to you that I should know?
Well, I obviously we'd like to maximize our profit. So there's that. And other than that, we're just really excited about this new opportunity and next chapter.
Well, congratulations again. Let's make sure that you guys are positioned well, because I'm assuming you want to be in your next home ready to start school for the kids so that they're settled.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me, like with the kids, how are they doing with this transition and this whole move?
They're a little bummed that they're having to leave their friends behind, and we've helped to kind of reassure them that, that they don't have to lose that contact. With technology now, they can still, connect social media and those ways. And while they may not be there physically, they can still have those relationships. Plus, they get opportunity to, make new friends.
Sure. And I would imagine that this is already a massive change. If we can minimize a lot of additional changes, it would probably be really beneficial for them.
Yeah. So our son plays soccer. So it was really important for him to go out and kind of mingle with some of the soccer teams in the area and just kind of get a feel. So a couple of weekends ago, we took a flight out, and he was able to get in on a couple of practices and really gelled with this one team. So he's taking it better than most. I mean, he's looking forward to it, which helps take the stress off of me and the wife.
I know at the end of the day, this is true for me and my family. Like, what we do, it really is important ultimately for the family and for our children. So it sounds like we need to get this home settled, not only for top dollar, but in a way that's going to put you in a position as the leader of your family to give everyone that rest and that assurance that this transition was the right thing for you. So this is going to be exciting.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what makes him the master. So thank you so much, Joseph. That was awesome. I love that. So how can people get in contact with you?
Sure. I'm on all social platforms and YouTube. You can look me up by my name, Joseph Limo, or Joseph R, as in Robert Limo. And feel free to reach out. I mean, I connect with agents, buyers, sellers all over the country. Again, my value first approach to life is one that I extend to my professional career. So if I can just be helpful for people with no expectation in return, the truth is it's returned 1,000-fold over. So I'm very clear and happy just to do that. If I can help someone in any way, any capacity, I'm more than willing to do it.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show again today. And always a pleasure every time we get together. It feels like I learned so much from you. So join us next week, where we're going back to Central Kentucky. I'm interviewing the guy that got me into real estate. So it's going to be a great episode next week. Everyone, be safe. Have a great weekend, and we will catch you next time around.
Holding my breath and I'm ready to go. I'm falling right in and I'm ready to go. I found